In the heart of a small African village nestled between rolling hills and vast savannas, lived a young woman named Amina. She was known for her radiant smile, kind heart, and an unwavering spirit that seemed to light up even the darkest corners of her community. At just 24 years old, Amina had already faced more challenges than most people encounter in a lifetime. Yet, she carried herself with grace and dignity, always hopeful for brighter days ahead. Amina's life took a turn when she married Kofi, a man from a neighboring village who promised her love, respect, and a future filled with happiness. Their union brought joy not only to them but also to their families, as it symbolized unity between two communities. For months, their marriage flourished, and Amina believed she had finally found her happily ever after. However, fate had other plans. One day, while tending to her garden, Amina discovered something life-changing. She was pregnant. Overwhelmed with excitement, she rushed to share the news with Kofi, imagining how thrilled he would be. But instead of joy, his reaction left her shattered. He accused her of being careless, blamed her for ruining his reputation, and refused to accept responsibility. Within weeks, Kofi filed for divorce, leaving Amina alone, vulnerable, and carrying a child she never imagined raising on her own. The news spread quickly through the village, and whispers followed Amina wherever she went. Some pitied her, others judged her harshly, labeling her as a failure and a burden. Her family tried to support her, but they too struggled to understand why Kofi had abandoned her at such a critical time. Amidst this turmoil, Amina felt isolated, unsure if she could face the challenges ahead. One evening, as Amina sat by the riverbank, tears streaming down her face, an old friend appeared, a woman named Zara. Zara had been Amina's closest companion during childhood, but over the years, their paths had diverged. Now, seeing Amina in distress, Zara returned without hesitation, determined to help her friend navigate this difficult chapter of her life. "Come, let us walk," Zara said gently, offering Amina her hand. "You are not alone anymore." Zara's presence brought comfort to Amina, reminding her of happier times. Together, they began making plans for Amina's journey toward motherhood. Zara introduced her to a midwife in the village, taught her about nutrition and prenatal care, and ensured she attended regular checkups. Slowly but surely, Amina started regaining her strength and confidence, knowing she wasn't facing this challenge alone. As the months passed, Amina marveled at the miracle growing inside her. Despite the hardships, she vowed to give her unborn child the best possible start in life. With Zara's unwavering support, she prepared for the arrival of her baby, learning everything she needed to know about childbirth and parenting. But little did Amina know, this was just the beginning of her story, a tale of resilience, friendship, and unexpected blessings. As the months rolled on, Amina's pregnancy progressed smoothly under Zara's watchful eye and the guidance of the village midwife, Mama Nana. Mama Nana was a wise woman with decades of experience delivering babies in the community. Her calm demeanor and expert knowledge reassured Amina during moments of fear or doubt. "Every child is a gift from the heavens," Mama Nana often told her. "Trust yourself and trust the process." Zara, meanwhile, became more than just a friend. She was Amina's anchor. She helped her prepare for childbirth by teaching her breathing techniques, providing nutritious meals, and ensuring she stayed active through light exercises. Together, they transformed Amina's small hut into a welcoming space for the new arrival. They sewed blankets, stitched tiny clothes, and crafted a cradle from wood that had been gifted by one of the elders in the village. Despite their efforts, whispers from the villagers continued to haunt Amina. Some criticized her for continuing her pregnancy without a husband, while others whispered cruelly about what kind of future awaited a child born out of wedlock. But Zara stood firm against these judgments. "Let them talk," she would say firmly. "We know the truth, and so will your baby when the time comes." One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the village, Zara shared a story with Amina, a tale passed down through generations in her family. It was about a young girl named Saad who faced similar challenges but found strength in her own abilities and the love of those around her. The story resonated deeply with Amina, giving her hope and courage. Life has its seasons, Zara concluded. Right now, you're in the storm, but soon enough, the rain will stop and the sun will shine again. Amina nodded, feeling a warmth spread through her chest. For the first time since Kofi's abandonment, she truly believed that better days lay ahead. The day finally arrived when Amina went into labor. With Zara by her side, she made her way to Mama Nana's home, where the delivery would take place. The room buzzed with quiet anticipation as the women of the village gathered outside, praying for a smooth birth. Inside, Mama Nana worked tirelessly, guiding Amina through each contraction with patience and encouragement. Hours turned into what felt like an eternity, but eventually, the sound of a newborn's cry filled the air. Amina's heart swelled with overwhelming joy as Mama Nana placed the tiny bundle in her arms. It was a girl, a beautiful, healthy baby girl with soft brown skin and delicate features. Tears streamed down Amina's face as she gazed at her daughter, marveling at the miracle she had brought into the world. "You did it," Zara whispered, embracing her friend tightly. "You are stronger than you ever imagined." Word spread quickly through the village about the birth of Amina's daughter. While some remained judgmental, many were moved by her determination and resilience. Slowly, the community began to rally behind her, offering gifts of food, clothing, and words of encouragement. Even some of the skeptics started to soften, recognizing the love and care Amina showered upon her child. As the weeks passed, Amina settled into her role as a mother. She named her daughter Amara, which meant eternal in Swahili, a symbol of hope and perseverance. Life wasn't easy. There were sleepless nights, endless feedings, and moments of exhaustion. But every time Amara smiled or cooed, Amina felt her heart fill with gratitude. Meanwhile, news of Amina's triumph reached Kofi, who still lived in the neighboring village. Initially dismissive, he couldn't ignore the stories of how she had defied all odds and emerged victorious. His curiosity grew, leading him to visit the village one day. When he saw Amina holding Amara, his expression softened. He approached hesitantly, unsure of how to begin a conversation. Amina, however, wasn't ready to forgive or forget. She politely acknowledged his presence but made it clear that her focus was solely on raising her daughter. Still, Kofi lingered, drawn to the bond between mother and child. Over time, he began helping out in small ways, bringing firewood or fetching water. Though Amina accepted his assistance, she remained cautious, unwilling to let her guard down completely. Zara noticed the tension and encouraged Amina to give Kofi another chance, if only for Amara's sake. "Sometimes," Zara said thoughtfully, "love can find its way back if we allow it." As the seasons changed and Amara grew into a curious, giggling toddler, Amina found herself reflecting on the journey she had taken. Her life was no longer defined by the pain of betrayal or the whispers of judgment. Instead, it was filled with the laughter of her daughter and the unwavering support of Zara and the community. Yet, Kofi's presence lingered in the background, creating a complex web of emotions that Amina struggled to untangle. Kofi's visits became more frequent, though he never pushed for anything beyond friendship. He helped around the house, played with Amara, and even joined Amina and Zara during their trips to the market. Slowly, Amina began to see glimpses of the man she had once loved, the one who had promised her a future full of happiness. But the scars of his past actions remained fresh, and trust did not come easily. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the village, Kofi approached Amina with a hesitant expression. "May I speak with you?" he asked softly. Amina nodded, inviting him to sit beside her under the shade of a baobab tree. Zara, sensing the gravity of the moment, excused herself, taking Amara along to play near the riverbank. "I owe you an apology," Kofi began, his voice trembling slightly. "What I did, abandoning you during your pregnancy, it was unforgivable. I let fear and pride cloud my judgment, and for that, I am deeply sorry." Amina listened silently, her heart torn between anger and compassion. She thought back to the days when she had cried herself to sleep, wondering if she would ever find peace again. Now, sitting here with Kofi, she realized how far she had come. "I don't know if I can forgive you," she admitted honestly. "But I want Amara to have both parents in her life. If you truly regret what happened and are willing to prove yourself, then maybe, just maybe, we can try to rebuild something." Relief washed over Kofi's face, but he nodded solemnly. "I understand if you need time. I'll do whatever it takes to earn your trust again." Over the following months, Kofi proved himself through consistent effort. He supported Amina in every way possible, from helping with household chores to attending parent meetings at the local school where Amara had started learning basic skills. He also sought guidance from the village elders, hoping to mend his broken relationships within the community. Meanwhile, Zara watched these developments with a mix of joy and apprehension. She knew Amina deserved happiness, but she also worried about whether Kofi could truly change. One day, she confronted Amina about her feelings. "Do you love him again?" Zara asked gently. Amina paused, considering her answer carefully. "I think I might," she replied. "But it's different now. It's less about passion and more about partnership. We've both grown, and if we can work together for Amara's sake, then perhaps there's a chance for us." Zara smiled, hugging her friend tightly. "Whatever you decide, remember this. You're strong enough to handle anything life throws your way, and I'll always be here for you." Time passed, and the bond between Amina and Kofi continued to strengthen. They rekindled their relationship slowly, rebuilding trust brick by brick. The villagers, who had once judged Amina harshly, now celebrated her resilience and the new chapter she was writing with Kofi. Even those who had doubted her abilities acknowledged the strength she had shown throughout her journey. Finally, after much deliberation and planning, Amina and Kofi decided to remarry in a simple yet meaningful ceremony. The entire village gathered to witness the union, which symbolized redemption, forgiveness, and hope. As they exchanged vows under the watchful eyes of their loved ones, Amina felt a profound sense of peace. She knew that while the road ahead might still hold challenges, she was ready to face them head-on, with Kofi by her side and Amara in her arms. The celebration that followed was lively, filled with music, dance, and laughter. Children ran around, elders shared stories, and everyone partook in the feast prepared by the women of the village. Amidst the festivities, Amina pulled Zara aside and hugged her tightly. "Thank you," she whispered, "for everything." Zara grinned, wiping away a tear. "You did all the hard work, my dear. I just held your hand along the way." As the night drew to a close, Amina looked out at the stars twinkling above the savannah. Life had tested her in ways she never imagined, but through it all, she had discovered her inner strength, the power of friendship, and the beauty of second chances. With her family complete once more, she knew that brighter days lay ahead, a testament to the miracle of love, perseverance, and faith. And so, Amina's story came full circle, proving that even broken dreams can lead to blessed miracles. Years passed, and Amara grew into a vibrant young girl whose laughter echoed through the village like a melody. She was curious, kind-hearted, and fiercely intelligent, often surprising her teachers at the local school with her quick wit and creative solutions. Her presence brought light to everyone she met, and villagers fondly referred to her as the miracle child. As Amara blossomed, so did the relationship between Amina and Kofi. Their second marriage wasn't without its challenges, but they faced each hurdle together, drawing strength from their shared experiences. They worked side by side, running a small farm that provided not only for their family but also for those in need within the community. Every harvest season, they organized feasts where food was distributed freely to the less fortunate, ensuring no one went hungry. Amara, too, learned the value of kindness and compassion from her parents. At just 8 years old, she started helping Mama Nana assist new mothers during childbirth, carrying water, fetching supplies, and offering comforting words. The midwife often marveled at Amara's natural ability to calm even the most anxious women, saying, "She carries the spirit of healing within her." Word of Amina and Kofi's transformation spread beyond their village, inspiring neighboring communities. Single mothers who had once felt abandoned found courage in Amina's story, knowing that they weren't alone. Slowly, societal attitudes began to shift. Instead of judgment, there was empathy. Instead of exclusion, there was inclusion. One day, a group of women from a distant village visited Amina, seeking advice on how to navigate their own struggles. Amina welcomed them warmly, sharing her experiences and reminding them of their inherent strength. "You are warriors," she told them. "Your children are your greatest blessings, and together, we can build a world where love conquers all." Inspired by her words, the women returned to their homes, determined to change the narrative for themselves and future generations. In time, similar initiatives sprang up across the region, creating a network of support for mothers in need. Meanwhile, Zara continued to play a vital role in Amina's life. Though now older and grayer, her wisdom and humor remained unchanged. She often joked about being the unofficial godmother to Amara, delighting in watching the little girl grow into a remarkable young woman. On special occasions, she regaled the family with tales of Amina's childhood, bringing laughter and tears to everyone present. One evening, as the family sat around the fire under a canopy of stars, Amara turned to her parents with wide eyes. "Will you tell me again how you two came back together?" she asked earnestly. Kofi smiled, glancing at Amina. "It wasn't easy," he admitted, "but your mother taught me the power of forgiveness and resilience. And you, my dear, gave us a reason to fight for our happiness." Amina nodded, wrapping her arms around her daughter. "Life may throw storms our way, but as long as we stand together, nothing can break us." The night air carried their laughter and stories, blending seamlessly with the sounds of crickets and rustling leaves. For Amina, Kofi, and Amara, every challenge they faced had been a stepping stone toward a brighter tomorrow, a testament to the fact that even broken dreams can lead to the most beautiful miracles. And so, their legacy lived on, not just in their family but in the hearts of everyone whose lives they touched. Time flowed like the river that wound through their village, carrying with it memories of joy, sorrow, and triumph. As Amara entered her teenage years, she began to understand the depth of her parents' journey, not just as individuals, but as a testament to love, forgiveness, and resilience. Her presence in their lives was no longer just a miracle. She had become a bridge connecting the past to the future, a living symbol of hope. Amina and Kofi's bond grew stronger with each passing year, built on mutual respect, shared responsibility, and an unwavering commitment to their family. They worked tirelessly to ensure Amara received the best education possible, sending her to a boarding school in the city where she excelled academically and socially. Though they missed her dearly during her time away, they knew they were giving her opportunities they themselves had never had. During school breaks, Amara returned home, bringing stories of her adventures and dreams of making a difference in the world. Inspired by her parents' example, she decided to pursue a career in social work, hoping to help others facing challenges similar to those her mother had once endured. Amina beamed with pride, knowing her daughter would carry their legacy forward, touching countless lives along the way. The village itself underwent significant changes over the years. Thanks to Amina and Kofi's efforts, single mothers and their children were no longer stigmatized. Instead, they were celebrated as pillars of strength, supported by a community that valued compassion over judgment. The annual harvest feasts organized by Amina and Kofi became a cherished tradition, drawing people from neighboring villages who came to learn from their inclusive approach to life. Zara, now in her twilight years, remained a constant presence in their lives. Though her steps were slower and her voice softer, her wisdom continued to shine brightly. She often sat under the shade of the baobab tree, surrounded by children eager to hear her tales of old. Among them was Amara, who soaked up every word, cherishing the connection to her roots. One evening, as the sun painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, Zara called Amina and Kofi to sit beside her. "Life has been kind to me," she said softly, her eyes twinkling with emotion. "I've seen so much beauty in this world, but none greater than watching you two rise above adversity and create something extraordinary. Remember, your story isn't just yours. It belongs to everyone who needs to believe that broken dreams can still lead to miracles." Tears welled up in Amina's eyes as she hugged her dear friend tightly. "Thank you, Zara," she whispered, "for everything." Kofi nodded solemnly, adding, "Without you, none of this would have been possible." As the weeks turned into months, Zara's health began to decline. Despite her weakening body, her spirit remained unshaken. On her final day, surrounded by her loved ones, she smiled peacefully, knowing she had left the world a little brighter than she found it. Her passing was mourned deeply, but also celebrated, for she had lived a life filled with purpose and love. In honor of Zara, Amina and Kofi established a foundation dedicated to empowering women and children. Named after their beloved friend, the Zara Legacy Foundation provided resources, education, and support to those in need, ensuring her memory lived on through the lives she touched. Amara, now a young adult, took charge of the foundation's initiatives, channeling her energy and passion into creating lasting change. Under her leadership, the foundation expanded its reach, impacting communities far beyond the confines of their village. She traveled extensively, sharing her family's story and inspiring others to embrace forgiveness, resilience, and unity. As the years rolled on, Amina and Kofi watched their daughter flourish, knowing they had given her not just a roof over her head, but the tools to build a better world. Their journey, from heartbreak to redemption, had come full circle, leaving behind a legacy of love, courage, and hope. But life, as always, held one more surprise in store. The years passed like grains of sand slipping through an hourglass, each moment precious and fleeting. Amara, now a successful social worker, had grown into a beacon of hope for countless women and children across the continent. Her work with the Zara Legacy Foundation had transformed lives, breaking cycles of poverty and stigma, and instilling belief in the power of second chances. Amina and Kofi, though older and wiser, remained deeply involved in their community. Their farm thrived, serving as both a source of sustenance and a gathering place for villagers. Every evening, under the canopy of stars, they shared stories with the younger generation, passing on lessons of resilience, forgiveness, and love. The scars of their past were no longer wounds to be hidden but badges of honor, reminders of how far they had come. One crisp morning, as the sun rose over the hills, casting golden light upon the village, Amina stood beside Kofi, gazing at the fields they had cultivated together. "Do you ever wonder," she asked softly, "what our lives might have been if we hadn't faced those challenges?" Kofi smiled, wrapping his arm around her shoulders. "I do sometimes," he admitted. "But then I look at Amara, at the foundation, at the smiles of the people we've helped, and I realize this is exactly where we're meant to be. Our struggles shaped us, made us who we are today." Amina nodded, feeling gratitude well up within her. "And without Zara, none of it would have been possible," she added, her voice tinged with emotion. She was more than just a friend. She was family. As they stood there, lost in thought, a familiar figure appeared on the horizon. Amara, returning from one of her many trips. She carried with her not only news of her latest successes but also a sense of fulfillment that radiated from her very being. Her parents greeted her warmly, embracing her as though they hadn't seen her in years. That night, beneath the vast African sky, the family gathered around the fire, surrounded by friends and neighbors. Laughter filled the air, mingling with the crackle of burning wood. Amara spoke passionately about her dreams for the future, about expanding the foundation's reach and creating even greater impact. Amina and Kofi listened proudly, knowing their daughter would continue to inspire generations to come. But as the flames began to die down, Amara turned to her parents with a serious expression. "There's something I want to share," she said, her voice steady yet filled with emotion. "During my travels, I met someone, a man who shares my vision and values. Someone who understands the importance of family and community. And I think I'm ready to start my own." Amina and Kofi exchanged glances, their hearts swelling with pride and bittersweet nostalgia. They remembered their own beginnings, the uncertainty and fear, the doubts and triumphs. Now, it was Amara's turn to carve her path, to create her own legacy. "We couldn't be happier," Amina said, tears glistening in her eyes. Just promise us one thing. Always remember where you came from, and never forget the strength that brought you here. Amara nodded, hugging them tightly. I promise, she whispered. This journey isn't just mine. It's ours. Together, we've proven that broken dreams can lead to the most beautiful miracles. As the night deepened, the stars seemed to shine brighter, as if celebrating the enduring bond of a family united by love, resilience, and hope. For Amina, Kofi, and Amara, life had taught them that even in the darkest moments, there is always light waiting to break through, if only we dare to believe in it. And so, their story came to its final chapter, not as an ending, but as a beginning. A reminder that every challenge faced, every lesson learned, and every act of kindness performed contributes to the tapestry of life, weaving together the threads of humanity into a masterpiece of hope. The END.